First, giving all honor and praises to Yahuwah, the Holy One of Israel, and the whole universe. Know your stance and stand on it with dignity and fortitude. Know your stance and stand on it with dignity and fortitude. Know your stance and stand on it with dignity and fortitude. To my dear fellow brothers and sisters out there, know your stance. Stand on it with dignity and fortitude. Let's go right into it. My stance is, I know who I am. I know whose I am. And I know what I am. I belong to Yahuwah, for it is He who have formed me from the dust of the soil, breathed into my nostrils the breath of life, and made me a living soul. Yahuwah uriv yesh'i meme'era. Yahuwah ma'oz chayai meme'efached. מרעים לאכול את בשרי צרי ואויבי לי המה כשלו ונפלו. Yah is the strength of my life and my salvation. Of whom shall I fear? Yahuwah is my light and He who redeemed me. Of whom shall I be afraid? Even when my enemies and my foes came running towards me to eat up my flesh and bones, they stumbled and fell. Current society systematized the feeding of fantasies to the masses. The feeding of fantasies to the masses. Society systematized the feeding of fantasies to the masses. The masses is majority of the people. Satan deceived the whole world. If y'all with me in my previous video, I emphasized on how lie is equivalent to 600 and how deception is equivalent to tarsu, which is an opposer. With J. Edgar Hoover's plan to prevent the rise of a black messiah, we have developed as a people, the melanin dominant people, a neo-colonial mindset, meaning we believe that we are free from the physical slavery, but what about the neo-colonial slavery that we're currently living in? I'm talking about as in when you see a European person, you still operate with an inferior complex because you know that they are still in them positions of quote unquote power according to the perception of today's world. Even to this day, when I go outside, I'm still encountering racism. I'm still encountering the adversary attempting to manipulate and to subtly push a button of mine. Let me give you an example how the adversary attempt to push your button. Whenever you see a European coming towards you or just staring at you, you can be on a train, you can be at a bus stop, you can just be in a store. Whenever you see them just staring at you, as if you don't have the right to look decent. You don't have the right to be dressed in order to be addressed. Because when people feel like that you are dressed in order to be addressed, that's going to create white rage. When I said people, I mean the white supremacist mindset, because they are out there and dominating most of the services that society needs. And so they want to dominate them services so we can always have a sense of depending upon them. A sense of calling on their social workers into our lifestyle. Calling on their handlers into our lifestyle. Whether it be a producer at a record label. Whether if it's our great talent within our community. We can rap, we can sing, we can dance. Then we are always seeking to go and create an income based on what we are passionate about, based on what we are good in, and confident in our competence, which is singing, dancing, and acting, or whatever other skill we may have. It can be we are excellent in writing poetry, but they believe that they must give us the platform in order to speak on our greatness. They believe that even if it is their platform that we are speaking on, we need to be censored. We need to be cautious before we speak. Oh, we came back, bite the hand that feed us. Oh, no. Oh, listen, you're not feeding us. We're just simply aware of what it is that we're doing. Just because you claim that you have a studio or that you have the machine in order to assist us in our journey does not mean we have to come to you. No. I'm going to give you a suggestion as a fellow brother and a fellow sister. You can invest in the necessary tools you need, because the proper formula is, number one, have the mindset. That's number one. As long as you have not cultivated the mindset of doing for yourself and being independent upon someone else doing it for you, then you're going to be at someone else's mercy forever. If you do not break them neural pathways that are blocking you from elevating in your consciousness. And I'm talking about your Yah consciousness. You should never be afraid of expressing yourself and speaking truth to power, because the truth is that the truth will begin to create its own legs once you begin to speak it. But because people in society, they are dealing with their daily traumas or their historical traumas, they no longer want to hear the truth be addressed, because it's gonna touch that wound that they have within inside of them. That wound. And they don't want that wound to be touched. So they're hoping that instead of constructively criticizing them, they want to call your constructive criticism a form of judgment. But they remove the righteous judgment out of the way and just labeled it judgment. Any words that are elaborated out of the mouth is called judgment, because judgment is directly connected to sentencing. And what you sentence out of your mouth, the people are conformed to that. Why? Because life and death exist in the power of the tongue. So whatever we say out of our mouth is going to be crossed over as avra, to cross on over, kedabra, as spoken. So whatever it is that I am crossing on over to you And in order for it to be impactful and in order for you to allow the activation to take place, my words had to be of a certain degree of high vibration and caliber. Because it won't move you, it won't touch you, it won't penetrate you, it won't electrify nothing in your body if I am not meticulous and conscious about the words that I decide to use and to transmit to you. If you hoping that I just pacify your complacency, then you are wrong, absolutely wrong. No, it is my objective to instill that strong golden thread within you, which is called a belief system. You do not have no belief system, and that's why you are dealing with trauma in your life. You are programmed by so much television in your life and so many advertisements in your life that you no longer know who you are. You are continuing to walk with a mask of shame on your face. You are continuing to walk with a mask of shame on your face. You are embarrassed to know who you are. You are embarrassed and ashamed to know who you are. The fight took place back then, and the fight should continue to take place now. And there is no ending to the fight. You either gonna fight, freeze, or flight. That's all that's going to happen. Fight, freeze, or flight. That's all that's going to happen. If a European come your way today and say Kushi, what you're going to do? You either going to fight back confronting them. You either going to freeze and shut up your lips and think that you don't want to cause conflict or you don't want to cause confrontation. So you're going to shut up your lips and you're going to become implosive. Eventually, a tank of gas will explode if the pressure is too heavy for it. So I'm just simply saying, instead of being implosive as a melanin dominant person, when Europeans are continuing to push your button, to continue to remind you of slavery by continuing to promote slavery movies in Hollywood, so it can turn on a switch in your head and you're going to forever see them as superior than you, because you're going to continue to see that, oh, man, they killed our brothers. Oh, they took him out. They did that. Let me shut up because I don't want that to happen. But what about the holy scriptures when it says in the Bible, the fear of man falleth in his own snare. He who put his trust in Yah is safe. Oh no, you're too afraid to say that if you marry a white woman as a black man, you're too afraid to, as a man as a black man who's standing on dignity and with fortitude, you're too afraid, or who's supposed to be standing with dignity and fortitude, you afraid to tell a black man and a white woman that that's not how it's supposed to be. You're afraid to call out that, oh, hey, listen, you made your choice, but you gotta support your own, especially if you're a black man. Do you love yourself? If you're a black woman and you're with a white man, do you love yourself? Hey, and if the shoe fits, wear it. What do you want me to say? Yes, I am remorseful for the times when I thought that it was okay to be. I thought it was okay to be just quote unquote loving who you love. Well, man, that's body brain. That's body emotion. That's energy with movement. We wasn't cognitively in tune with what is going on. And to every black man who just going to get a white girl or woman because they think she's easy, man, you lazy. You want her to pay your bills. You want her to say it's okay, you don't have to go to work. You want her to just say, don't worry. You're afraid of conflict, man. You're afraid of challenges. Conflict is inevitable. If you don't hit them two stones together, right? How are you supposed to receive the fire? Every man and woman have fire. When are you going to ignite that fire and spark that fire in you? When? Because you are an Ish. Ish is a unit in the center of fire. Esh. When are you going to ignite that fire in yourself, woman? You are Isha, a hay at the suffix of fire. What are we afraid? We afraid to get burnt. We are burnt. We are fire. We are fire. The only people who should be afraid to get burnt is them Europeans who have not been burnt. They are melanin recessive. They are mutants. You got blue eyes? Don't say a person with blue eyes is beautiful. The person is recessive. He need melanin. He need that melanin dominance in him. And unfortunately, he's not gifted with that melanin. He's melanin recessive. Y'all deceived and bamboozled to believing that a blonde-haired person and a blue-eyed person is the most beautifulest person ever. Y'all bamboozled to believe in that. Y'all bamboozled to believe in that. And even in the movie Sinners, it was completely what is titled, full of sin. Completely what it was titled. Everybody's speaking about the movie Sinners and they giving a good hype to it. But man, forget that hype. How do you allow a movie, as a black film director, allow the movie to end with a black man and a snow bunny? How do you allow that to happen? How do you allow yourself, Michael B. Jordan, to basically sell out for that movie, man? You sold out for that movie. You allowed yourself to operate as the vampire. You allowed yourself to be obsessive for money. You allowed yourself to be obsessive for money, for power, and for glory, and to settle for a darn white woman. What's your issues, Michael B. Jordan? Look, miss me with this entertainment industry. Miss me with it. Because all of the hype that Kendrick Lamar received for They Not Like Us, all of the hype he received, you got Europeans and black people doing the dance. But let me ask y'all self, all y'all giving him that energy, did he send y'all $100 a piece? I'm just saying, no, he did not. Is he putting that pen to the paper, right? And writing some, formulating some litigation in order to get the black people up out of America? He claimed he's a Hebrew Israelite. He claimed he's aware of his identity. So if Kendrick Lamar is claiming that he's a Hebrew Israelite and he's aware of Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, can he put that money to use and not be afraid of the puppeteers taking it away from him for an excellent cause? Now we have this excellent leader, Ibrahim Traore, all right, who is aware of the cowardice behavior that's been taking place on and on and on and on and on and on and on within Africa and within the diaspora. And so what we saying is, it's time to recognize what this brother is doing. He removed the French from out of Burkina Faso. South African president is also intending to kick in the Afrikaans also out of South Africa, Afrikaners. So what do y'all think is going to happen to the settlers that came from Turkish and Kazakhstan and all them other places within Europe? What y'all think is going to happen to them Moroccans? They called Ibrahim Traore, the president of Morocco called Ibrahim Traore. Why? In order to jump on a bandwagon while he can. And I'm going to tell you why. That's a form of handling. He want to handle and really neutralize brother Ibrahim Traore, President Ibrahim Traore. And I'm going to tell you why. If you go back into the previous years, you will see that there was issued an Abraham Accord with Morocco and Israel. And Israel is an ally of America and France. So what does that mean? That means if France and America want to take out Ibrahim Traore, what do you think Morocco is going to be doing? Morocco is also, to my knowledge, to my discernment, is a coup organization who's just trying to jump on a bandwagon. Ain't nowhere in the world you want to just open up your ports and say it's going to benefit us and you and not anticipate nothing from them. It's called soft power. It's called hooks in it. The way Serena and Vanessa Williams' father told them when they were saying, Daddy, look, we getting free food. He said, don't you eat that. It's hooks in that. It's hooks in that. Hook or crook. It's hooks in that. Take a bite, you might find a nail in there. All these black women putting dye in their hair. You see what I'm saying? And we just eating whatever we want to eat. But look on the back of the darn cart. Look at all these preservatives, food coloring, additives and everything. Different type of hormones. Soya milk, soya. They promote that so much. But hey, it's increasing the estrogen level within the male body. Formulating men breasts. Come on. We start having a squeaky tone as a man. We supposed to have that bass in our chest. In our tone. That's called testosterone. Once again, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. But the way you stand for something is you don't allow an opposite race come to you and ask you to hook you up or hook them up with your sister. You don't allow that. Don't never allow no European man coming to your home saying that he want to take your daughter's hand when you a melanin dominant person. Don't you never allow that. Don't you never, ever, ever allow that. Don't you never allow your melanin dominant daughter to be with a snow puppy. You just don't do that stuff. Don't you dare forget history. You got these Europeans in Israel, they ain't gonna never forget the Holocaust. That they funded it themselves. They ain't gonna never forget the Holocaust that they funded themselves. They ain't gonna never forget that. And it's gonna be embarrassing and painful for them to even know that these Europeans here who claim that they Jewish funded the Holocaust themselves. They had the jewelry stores over there in Berlin. They had the jewelry stores. They had them. And don't allow your child, if they are in a school with predominantly white people, to go on them trips. Slikat. Don't allow your children to go on them trips to Poland. That's not their history. Don't allow your children to pledge the allegiance of a state of Israel and also not America. If you have an ID, good and fine. You have it. But also be in this world and not of this world. There's a distinct difference between public pronunciation and reality. In reality, I'm aware of the rules of engagement. That doesn't mean I need to compromise my belief system. My belief system do not have to include Europeans in my belief system. I understand and understand the concept of humanity. However, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? If you ever want to call me a coochie or say intentionally to try to see how I'm going to respond to, מאיפה אתה? אתה מהכושים העבריים? Oh, you thought I was about to yell, right? Let me help you out. עם כל הכבוד, לא. לא, מהכושים העבריים. עם כל הכבוד, לא. בלי הכושים. אני מקהילת העבריים. לא, אבל ככה הם קראו לזה, לא. חכי, עצור, חכה שנייה. תשמעו, באותה תקופה היה סכסוך במדינה הזו. המדיה, התקשורת, הם ניסחו את זה עקב העובדה שהם תרגמו את המושג כושי מהמושג נגר באנגלית. And nigger was basically to describe a black person as ripped from his morals, principles, and identity. That's why they used to also shave the girls' heads and the boys' heads. Now, they used to append us together as men and women to breed in order to have children so that our children can be property for them. If you are living in the year of 2025 and you are still asleep up here as a melanated man or woman, then I encourage you and admonish you and strongly suggest that you know who you are. You should never sleep with a white man and you should never sleep with a white woman. And I'm telling you this, you should never mix. You should never mix. Yes, Yah gave you a choice. I put before you this day, life and death, and I encourage you to choose life. I'm just saying that it's your right. However, once you make that decision, you will reap consequences. The consequences is going to be the same thing that happened to Tiger Woods. The same thing that's happening to Michael Jordan. The same thing that's happening to Bill Cosby. The same thing that's happening to Shannon Sharp, which turns out to be he's not so sharp. He's messing with these young little snow bunnies. I'm just simply saying, speak truth to power and allow that truth to walk. It's too much deception in this society today for us to just allow deception to flood our media. All I'm saying is speak truth to power. Truth to power concept is simply saying that your truth that Yah put in you to express, which is the truth, is going to walk. Everything else around the truth is only perspectives. There's many perceptions, but there's only one truth. And know that. So with that being said, salute to all of my brothers and sisters who walking with that Asada Shakur spirit, who's not afraid to be ridiculed, scrutinized for speaking truth to power, and who still have the confidence in their competence and to know that you are Yah's. Yah decide when to activate the words to come out of your mouth. He decides when them words are going to be uttered from out of your mouth. With all due respect, Kadima Ya Umila, and brothers and sisters, if y'all decided to go and marry a white woman or a white man, please don't speak in regards to the black community because you're not standing for the fight. You then showed your disloyalty for the sake of status and believing that you're going to receive a psychological kick or that you're going to receive a form of glory for being with someone who you believe that is your superior, the white race. So with that being said, I'm going to just say I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm beautiful. I'm black and I'm handsome. You know, black power to encourage the fight, to motivate the fight in you. Stand with Ibrahim Traore. Stand with Burkina Faso. Stand with Africa. We are in Northeast Africa, and these Europeans here in this land will soon return to their homelands in Europe. I guarantee you that it's all divinely prophetic by the Most High. Yeah. So, Yachai Kadima Yab Umila. Shalom.